Welcome, 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 everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. Of course, I am your host, DBoss, and I'm just thanking everybody who's been doing their 15 minutes of laughing and more, and that they have been, continuing the journey. 15 minutes you have to do every day, so keep up so they can release all those endorphins in your body, keep your blood pressure down, it heals your body. I'm not saying stop taking your medication if the doctor provides for you, but also it tones your abs. But I'm saying again, don't stop going to the gym because some people need a little bit more maintenance in that area. So that will just help it. It's not going to do everything that it's supposed to do. So and also if it helps you get ready if you have a speaking engagements or you're ready to sing, all that. And don't say that you don't have anybody to laugh with, because you can call somebody. You can also watch something streaming. There's so many things on there. And if you're laughing by yourself and you don't have anybody to laugh with, but you're laughing, who cares? Because you're going to look more youthful, and you're going to look, how you start your day is how you're going to end it. And then you get up and you do your day again. So even if you're at church, they say you can even have a laugh. So don't think that's also serious and stuff like that. So I have a real special guest here that coming up. They've been here before, and they've released a new book, but a journey of resilience, hope, and transformation, and they're taking the leap. But we're going to find out all about that, and it's supposed to be Untapped 60. We're going to introduce them when you come back from one word from our sponsors, from Vital Steps to Vital Health and Fitness. We'll be right back.
Welcome to your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. I'm Joanne James. Today we're talking about how exercise affects stress. Everybody has stress in some way in their lives, but regular exercise is a powerful tool for managing your stress level. A couple of things that it does. One is it releases endorphins, which is a feel-good hormone, into your system that gives you more energy, makes you feel good, and reduces your anxiety and probably eliminates your depression. Also, exercise is a distraction. It keeps you thinking about other things other than your problems that you're having. So exercise whenever you're feeling stressed, that will distract you. Exercise also improves your sleep quality by regulating your sleep pattern, which is increasing your resilience to stress. So get a good night's sleep, and you'll get that after you exercise. So make sure you incorporate exercise into your daily lifestyle, and that way you'll get a lot less stress in your life. I'm Joanne James, and this has been your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. See you next time.
Well, thank you, Joanne James, for that. Everybody can get a little more active in their life. But these guys that's coming up here, they've been on here. They're very active. They've done a lot of stuff. If people haven't watched it before and seen them before, they've been on here. They've told their whole life story and everything that's gone on. But we can touch a little bit on that again. But let's get into it and find out about this book, Untapped 60 book, with Jarrett Robertson and Michael Laughlin. Here you are.
Hello.
Hi.
You guys are looking like you're staring at this place.
So it's Mike Laughlin.
Laughlin.
And so we did release a book, Untapped 60. And Untapped 60 isn't an autobiography on either of us, but it is the story of like what I've been through in my life, what Jarrett's been through in his life, and then Jarrett adds in a lot of make it a great day stuff, which is stuff to make your life better. And Jarrett will get into more of that. But the part where I come in is when we do our presentations or our keynote speaking and our public speaking events. I talk about my life. In my life, I've been through, we say 3 major events, but it's more like maybe 5 or 6. But I've been through in 2007, I was in a major snowmobile accident and broke my tibia, fibia, my kneecap, my knee in half, shattered my femur, broke my my ulna, was compound fractured out my arm, and so recovered from that and went back to firefighting. I was a firefighter at the time, full-time firefighter. 2011, my girlfriend committed suicide and came home and found her, and it was actually on Jarrett and my birthday and his birthday, which is we celebrate the 9th and 10th of January. So had to deal with the loss of a loved one, tragic loss, and so recovered from that, but then had to battle with some drug addiction from the first accident, from painkillers, and after I lost my girlfriend, I went back to relying on those to drown out the pain, the emotional pain, not the physical pain, but the emotional pain. And then, so I had to battle with that. And anybody that doesn't, everyone is touched by someone that's dealt with some kind of addiction. It's very difficult. And so managed to battle through that and beat that. And then along comes 2016, and I was in a motorcycle accident. A deer came out of the ditch, ran into me when I was driving my motorcycle down the road, and down I went, and into the ditch, bounced off the road, and watched my leg get torn off. So my right leg was torn off at the knee. I tourniqueted my leg, called the fire department that I worked for, and told them to come save me. And so the long journey began. So I actually broke my neck in 2 spots, my back in 3 spots, and lost my leg. So thought my life was over. And but you know what? Decided, I've done this before. I've battled through everything. I'm not going to quit now. So was able to overcome that again. And I became Canada's first, and I'm still the only above knee amputated full-time firefighter in Canada. So I have that claim to fame. That was 8 years ago, and I'm still the only one that's done it. So that was kind of, the achievement of that. But the actual achievement of all of it, of beating all of that stuff, was while I was in the hospital, I met my wife, my wife that I have now. And we now have a 4-year-old boy and have a 14-year-old stepdaughter. And my life couldn't be better. And so everything that I went through was setting me up to get to this day right here in front of you, DBoss. It was all worth
Now,
it. It was all.
and he met her. He met his wife in the hospital, but being a naughty. So
yeah, I was wheeling around, checking out nurses. Yeah.
he was still tore up, but he still went.
Cool.
So everybody here wants to know what's your cultural background and where you come from.
We're both Canadian. We're from Kingston.
Okay.
I wasn't born in Kingston, but raised in Kingston. I'd say I was born in Cornwall, Ontario, a little small town just east of Kingston, but raised, and that's where we met, Kingston, Ontario. So we're up in Canada. Okay.
All right. No, we didn't know if you have some Italian or something or wherever, but if you're just all Canadian, that's all good.
I'm sure there's ancestral stuff that I don't know about, but I just
wherever everybody's checking it out now. Okay, so Jarrett, what's your story?
So I would say the Make It a Great Day part came during. So it's been a motto of mine for a long time, and then during COVID, I wrote my first book called Make It a Great Day: How to Feel Awesome So That You Can Help Others. And I was just rolling with that. The book is made up of the littlest things we do everything, but the why behind we do them. And so I think this world's become so fast, and it's a race to get to something. And I'm guilty for it. I can speak for both of us. Laughlin and I are both pretty ADHD with each other, so we kind of have to hold each other accountable. But we want things to happen hyper quick. But at the end of the day, you got to stop and go, hold on. I'm big on drinking water, sleeping, but the reasons why behind them. I love your intro because it talks about doing your 15 minutes of laughing, and it's actually part of our intro and keynote.
Oh yeah.
I talked about
you got it from me. No.
And the reason why you laugh, because everyone says, okay, laugh. I'm like, well, here's some actual reasons why you should make yourself laugh in a day. And there's a plethora of science and proof out there why to do it. So I talked with that quite a bit. And Locke and I have been friends for 34 years, I think, roughly around 9-10 years old. And he's been open about, he's leaned on me quite a bit over the last probably 10, 12, 15 years. And not that I knew it, but we would just talk. But when he's having bad days, he'll give me a call. I guess I have a knack of looking at the brighter side of things. And not that I was acting with him either, because there were some scary moments, really, really scary times that I didn't know. And I spoke with his family through some of it. Now we didn't know what was going on. And you can't always just be rainbows and butterflies when your best friend's in a coma and his leg's gone and you don't even know if he's coming back, right? So there's some tough times. but yeah.
And then there's a part that you didn't even go to the hospital. You couldn't.
Oh, once. I never went once. I'd call him. I'd call him Dale or something like that. And that's a pretty cool thing to go into that science behind it. Of, I guess he just knew. He's like, Jarrett's here for me. I know he's here for me. And I think I remember saying, "Do you need me to come down, man? I'll sit beside you." And he's like, "No, you'll go nuts, and you'll drive me nuts, and we'll drive each other nuts."
Also, I didn't want Jarrett to see me like that because Jarrett has always thought of me as this, strong, solid as a rock figure, and I didn't want him to see me as a shriveled up little injured man. I wanted to get back to that person that he knew before he saw me.
It'd been the only time I could probably take him down in a fight, so maybe I should have went. I could have won that time. So yeah, and honestly, that's how it kind of came to be. That I was doing some speaking, and I was in a corporate position, and Mike was doing some speaking in Kingston, and he called me and said, let's kind of make this bigger. Let's do something. I said, yeah, we can absolutely do this. And I've been pretty open with him. I'm going to ride your coattails because you're the trauma, right? You're the story. But I think the two of us together, and this is where the book came in, was it's not a straight autobiography, as Mike was saying, but it's his story. So the trauma and resilience and perseverance has gone through it. And I've got some of my own stuff that I'm very open about, the things I've gone through. But the book is vast majority of it's his story. And then I've implemented little things in there to piggyback off of his story. Like how did he get through that trauma? What does suicide mean? PTSD, anxiety, fear, stress, culture, family, purpose, all that stuff in the book to let people know. So I really like it because it's a nonfiction meets self-help. It's not just a self-help book. Hey, who are these two guys telling us to laugh and work out and eat healthy? And it's not just a poor me, look at my story. So I like that we combine the nonfiction, real life story with the self-help component of it. And we have, real life examples of when we say drink water, sleep, call someone, work out. Here's why. Here's Mike, right?
Right. So you called it Untapped 60. So what did you call the book then?
So it's been known, I don't think it's proven out there, but it's been known that it's been said that when you're at your absolute worst, and in Mike's case, without going into detail, the book goes into a lot of deep detail, and then our keynote goes into the detail as well. But Mike had to choose, quite literally, life over death in a moment, to lie there and say, just die. Never mind, I want to live. So not a lot of people will ever get to that point, nor should they ever, right? That's not something I wish upon anyone, to have to choose in that moment, like, you know what, die, it's easier, or I'm in so much pain or whatever it is, or fight in that moment to live. So that's mind blowing to me. So he had to choose that twice, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's said that when people are at their absolute rock bottom, and everyone's rock bottom is different. So financial, emotional, physical, spiritual, so many different things, right? And you see it a lot in life with obviously finances, business owners, bankruptcies, marriages, relationships, infidelities, physically, and any kind of thing. You're at about 40% of your human potential when you're about to fight. So there's 60% in us left to give, and that's saved for that adrenaline situation. That's saved for survival moments. And you hear of the mom who can lift the car off their baby, right? And Mike's got some examples of, because when he talks about it, I'm like, hold on, your leg was ripped off and you did your own tourniquet, and some more details to that story. Go, wait, then you dial a phone number, you stayed awake, you threw stuff up on the road. What is happening? Well, there's something in our bodies that allow us to tap into that extra potential. And so what Untapped 60 is can we help improve your situation 5%, right? Can we help improve your corporate situation? Your middle 60% of your employees. Oftentimes we look at big corporations, we think you have your top 20% of your employees, which are your producers. They don't need a lot of motivating. You pay them well because they help your company move forward. They come up with ideas. They move the company forward. Your middle 60% are great employees. How do you invest and move them? Your bottom 20% are people who probably is your turnover. They'll come in, they'll come out, they might not be in the right career. And that's kind of a general consensus of bigger corporations. So how do you take that 60% in the middle and do something with it, right? If I can move that 60% of people 5%, what's that mean for your shares? What's that mean for the bottom line? What's that mean for your culture? So there's a big thing with corporate with Untapped 60 as well, and people individually. I think I heard you with laughing how it tones up your abs. So the big thing with weight loss, right? How do
Yes.
we go further? How do you drink more water in a day? What does that do to you? How do you meet more people? So there's so many. There's not a one solution for everyone, but absolutely, without a doubt, we're on a path to show people that there is so much untapped potential inside of you. What can we do to help you to move you forward, and where do you want help? Right.
Right. Well, I'm going to be doing some other tips on the benefits of coconut water and watermelon. So I'm telling you all ahead of time. So there's a lot of things in that too. But your story, and it's not, you can't say, I know you're calling it, it's not really autobiography, it's steps and different things, but what you have gone through, and you guys remain friends all the way through everything that Michael's gone through. And and then you're not telling him not to come to the hospital. Like, now, what person is really, is going to say, no, I can't go to the hospital, because that takes a lot of strength too, because you want to go, but you don't want him to go there.
And I also think maybe like he didn't want to see me like that, right? He wanted to hear me on the phone, because if you hear my voice, well, then I physically haven't changed when you can hear my voice and not see me, right? And I think that was part of it too, because I have another best friend, Jonathan Fillion, who also he didn't show up till he picked me up when I left the hospital, because he couldn't he couldn't get in the door. He showed up 3 times.
Oh, I guess somebody must have called him, but that's okay. Here he is. He showed up 3 times.
Yeah, and just couldn't get in the door. And maybe just emotional now, because I was like thinking about that. I'm like, so I hated to do that to people, to make them to put them out like that they had to worry about me.
Well, right? you didn't make yourself go into the hospital. This is something that happened.
No, I know.
But when you hit that deer, did the deer live when you hit the deer, or was that the deer?
So like the deer actually ran into the side of me and basically just got up and kept going. Yeah, he lived. But DBoss, I'm a deer hunter. I go hunting every year, and I like to think that I got him the next year. Because I did get a deer the next year. Yeah, I got a deer the next year. So I just in my mind, that was him.
To add to this too, DBoss, which was really cool the last probably 8 years or so, 2016, 17, so 7 or 8 years. It's been cool to go back and reflect on. I guess there's no answer to it, but this is something I preach a lot of time, is who are the people that you can call, or if you need to be in front of them. But I mean, I got friends who I see once a year, right? My sister lives out in Vancouver. I see her once a year, maybe, but you're still super close with that person. So there's something going on with those chemicals I talk about too in a lot of the books, serotonin, oxytocin. Like, I guess Mike just felt the support and the love, and that's what you need in moment. If I come there, I'm sure there's people who visited that he was like, "Thanks for coming," but
well,
get out of here, right? I got so you're really appreciative, thank you, but like I don't have the energy to talk to you. I haven't seen you in 6 years, and you're showing up because I might be dead, but that's not the case. He knew Jonathan was there. He knew I was there. Obviously his mom and family and them were there all of the time. That's a little different, but that was really cool for me to know that. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. If he called me in the middle of the night and said, I need you to come sleep here for a week, I was there. Right. But it was, do you need me to come in? No. Like, okay, good. I don't really want to come because it's going to be boring for both of us. What am I supposed to do? Like, look at you while you can't do anything. So the nurse are there. Are you good? Let's chat. And we chat, right? And then when he got out of the hospital, I guess that's probably where I came more into
the house.
Yeah.
Just he was I remember him rehabbing and his dad's, and then he'd call because there'd be some really, really tough days, and he'd call. And then I think I can't remember, but that's where I'd be able to say to him, I don't know, life's pretty great, man. Look what you're doing and all the things.
Yeah. So. Did you take one step today? Perfect. Did you take 2 steps the next day? Like, it's a very slow process when you're healing from major injuries. And it was like every day was just like a little win, right? Oh, okay. Well, you took 3 steps. Awesome. Right? Like, Jarrett's the kind of guy that'll make that a big deal. And you'll be like, oh, I was awesome today, right? Where before I was like really depressed about it. And so that's like, I do it all the time. I did it last week. I probably do it once a week, really, Jarrett, if you think about it. I call you and I'm like, Jarrett, I'm stressed. I'm not having a good morning. Help. And he'll just be like, okay. And we'll break down what's going on. And by the end of the conversation, 10, 20 minutes later, I'm feeling great, ready to tackle the day. So I think everybody needs someone like that they can call on. It's too bad that everyone doesn't, but I know I saw something just recently, like you could have 100 friends, but do you have that one good friend? Do you need 100 friends, or do you need one good friend? And I think if everyone had one good friend that they could rely on, the world would be a great place, because everyone would have that person to pick them up and when they were feeling down or and not feeling motivated and needed that person.
But I was tapping to what Jarrett was saying about friends. Sometimes you have friends, but you don't speak to them every day. You might speak to them a year, maybe 2 years, but then when you guys get on the phone, you just talk as if you were just talking to them yesterday.
Yeah.
So those, that's considered a very good bond also. If you can do that with people. Some people, you might call them like, who's this?
Yeah.
But then some of them, you just talk and you just pick up where you left off. Okay, I've been doing this for the last 6 months or a year or something, and Absolutely. They just start to talk about it. And that's good synergy. And also those are good friends too. They don't Absolutely. Have to be every minute of the day right in you, in your face.
Yeah. That goes from the relationships you've built over that time too, right? I connected with someone that I went to school with at the university. I hadn't talked to her in a while. She was at my wedding, and all of a sudden she called me, and I'm like, oh my God. And it was just super simple, right? So you build those relationships over time. We all have, I think everyone has a person. They might not speak to them like Mike and I have built our relationship. But I think everyone probably has a person they can call and say, I could call this person and pick up where I left off, and it'd be good to chat with them again.
All right. So this book, how many pages is it, and how long did it take to put together?
But 160 pages. I think it's 164, but the reading, but 160 pages. It's not a long read. It's not a hard read. It's we set it up so that you could. It's almost in 2 sections. You set up so you can just follow Mike's story if you want.
Okay.
The other sections that are put in there are highlighted so you can see it deviates from his story, but we put them in the different places. So as Mike goes through one of his traumas, then there's some section there to say, hey, here's what this means. Here's what that means. Here's some more information on this. Here's some more information on that. And then you'll see, come the next chapter, you're like, oh, this is where his story picks up. So I really like how we laid the book out. And that was a huge part with the editors we worked with. I said, we need to separate this, but I don't want it. The first 4 chapters are his story, and then the next 2 are, information on make it a great day and how to.
Okay.
Then people might not read it. So it was just, I love the way it flows. It's about 160 pages. It's not difficult. And we really made it, we really wanted to set it up so that people would continue reading it like any book, and really want people to feel what Mike felt at those times. So that was important in the book, is so people could really go, oh my gosh. And I have all the confidence in the world, DBoss, for anyone who's listening to your show, that for 100% of the people who read the book, they will get something out of this. I have full confidence in that, because Mike was so gracious to go through what he's gone through, like the addiction, the PTSD, the trauma, the love, the recovery, the perseverance, the down in the dumps, the friends, like it just, and my own story, which isn't really in there, but it just hits everything. It hits everything. So we can help anyone who's been through, you name it, because we've been there. So with 100% certainty, something in the book is going to is going to resonate with the person. And I have all the confidence in the world that, you know, you're going to laugh throughout the book. We make a few jokes. And I think there's parts of the book that can bring you to tears for sure. I mean, the section on Jen that we really went into depth with. And I said to Mike, I go, hey, here's what we've come up with. How do you feel? I teared up writing it and writing it with Mike. And so it's a pretty powerful section. And, you know, obviously anyone who's had to deal with a loss it will absolutely, you know, it'll connect, right, Mike and them and the book to them. So we're excited. I'm pumped for it.
So are you going to come out with like a sequel or, you know, a part?
That means one of us got another trauma. No,
I'm done.
No. No sequel.
There's no more chapters. There's no more chapters.
Untapped 62. No.
I don't have any other.
Okay,
people. Want me to lose an arm, DBoss? What do you want here?
No, well, you can do maybe a spin-off with your addictions or different things, you know. So
I think,
like, no.
I think what would be next for me is an actual autobiography and get into like real details about my entire life and the dark holes I've been down after these incidents and through drug addiction and after the accidents, staring at counting the holes in the tiles in the hospital rooms for countless hours when you can't sleep and you haven't slept in days and and you can't roll. Like I broke my neck in 2 spots, my back in 3 spots. So I laid on my back for 36 days and didn't move. So you can imagine. Yeah, like it's your mind goes in different places and like so I think that would be next is autobiography and really hammer.
I think a movie.
Yeah.
A movie,
no,
yeah.
You're not wrong. DBoss, we've approached people. I've said if anyone's listening, I think it's a documentary.
It's a good movie.
It's a documentary like no other, right?
But not like a one episode movie. It would be like several because everything happened in several different phases.
And that's what's
like
different about this, right, Jarrett?
I think
that's
so.
What you always say.
I've said so with the keynote speaking, whatever it is, the documentary, but the keynote speaking when I explain to people. So at all the conferences I've been to when I was in corporate, and all the speeches I've heard over time, typically on average, people have like one trauma, right? A bankruptcy, built a business, they were down and out physically, they were homeless, something with their marriage, lost a child, lost a spouse, something like. There's something traumatic and it's terrible. And they've built up and this is who they are now, right? And the story is really inspiring, really cool. Well, so Mike's got 3 distinct traumas that are all its own story. So the skidooing accident alone, arguably is the easiest one, a horrible skidooing accident. And he openly admits, you know, maybe I could have made different decisions at 26 and in the winter. I'm like, okay, but you didn't. It is what it is. It doesn't change the accident, but the severity of that accident is mind-boggling. And how you came back to be a firefighter, cool. But then the suicide, something totally different, totally different. And then not just another accident, but now a catastrophic amputation, which is, and then that comeback story to become a full-time firefighter, which is on its own crazy, you know, a first responder. And the details of that were when I explained to people, like when he went to do the testing and there was no modifications because you can't, because if you want to be a firefighter again, they go, okay, but we can't modify this. If you've got to go pull Jarrett Robertson or DBoss out of a fire, you got to be able to do it.
Right.
So we did it, which is an incredible feat because most of us do it with 2 legs, 2 arms, and are healthy. And this guy says, well, I can do it with 2 arms and 1 leg, and let's go. So I think it's really cool. And then the love and the child and the right, that love story at the end of it is.
But the people that you're pulling out the fire don't know that.
No.
Because they'll be like, no.
Yeah. They'd be like, are you serious? You're really here for me? Yeah.
No.
Hey, you know what's super cool? I gotta mention this, and Laughlin, you can jump in. But this was, I should talk about it next time. But there's a really cool story that Mike told me about a mother who you helped in a fire, pulled out, but she had wrapped herself right around the baby. I think you said, and she got burnt. The Untapped part, bad, but she saved the baby.
Saved her
So
baby.
he helps her go. So tell that story if you're allowed. I think you are, but
Yeah.
this is untapped potential. I'm like, who does this? Just literally held
Yeah,
this
so
child.
this was actually just last year. We went to a structure fire. We get there, flames are coming at the building, and there's a lady on the front lawn with 2 young children, a 3-year-old and a baby, and she's choking me up. So I was the ladder of the driver. The driver of the ladder truck. So I was the medical guy at that point because everyone else was putting the fire out. So I grabbed the medical kit and I go to her, and she's burnt badly. Her legs are burnt, her arms are burnt, her hair is singed, and the baby's in her arms, and it's unscathed. And so what she did was she protected her baby and ran through the fire, and then went back and got the 3-year-old and did it again, which is just like, it's choking me up because it's like, most people don't do that. That's heroic.
Wow.
I'm not here being the firefighter there, tending to her and wrapping her wounds and get her in the ambulance. I'm not a hero doing that. She's a hero, right? The firefighters putting out the fire, that's just our job. We're just doing our job. She's the hero, and that's people don't recognize that sometimes, right? But she just saved her 2 young kids, and most people wouldn't just, they'd be too scared. They just curl up in a ball and die, and it happens all the time, right? And so this lady is a true hero and saved both of her children.
Wow.
And paid the price, because I'm sure she's got bad scars from it. Obviously, we don't get to see the victims after. We wrap them up, we do our job, and send them away. And so, just unreal what she did. And there's someone that untapped the 60, right? The 60 that no one else gets into. So,
Wow. So, are you guys for this? I know you're not writing nothing else, but I don't know what's else is up. I guess you're just going to be pushing this book and just pushing people to tell their story or get them to do their Untapped. So, are there any shout outs that you want to give to anybody?
I will say though, I do run limb loss fitness for any amputees listening, any amputees out there. I have a business called Limb Loss Fitness, and I help motivate, and I do meal plans and teach them how to work out with their new limb or their amputation, because so many amputees just end up getting depressed and sitting on the couch and not actually doing anything because they don't know that they can. So if any amputees are listening out there and you need help, contact me. It's www.limblossfitness.com.
Wow.
I would say, DBoss, to add to this, what we're trying to do with the book, yes, if people want to go purchase the book, it's being released September 12th. They can pre-order it today.
Okay.
Amazon.com has it. Barnes & Nobles has it. If you go to our website, untapped60.com, there's a book link there. You can pre-order it. So yes, if people order the book, that's fantastic. It supports our message. Ultimately, we want to get out. We're going to get out. We have some events booked, and we're working on some more. Working with a few agents to start getting around the States and Canada to do keynote speaking.
Right.
Because we want to be in front of people. That's huge. We know it's huge. We like it. We want to be in front of people and tell the story. Give people a little bit of inspiration and motivation. So that's our ultimate goal for 2024 and 25. And the book is I guess a tool for people to have that they can read through it and remind themselves that Laughlin's been through this, and they can see him now physically on stage, ask me questions as well. And then our camaraderie is a lot of fun for people. They can see the support that we have. But ultimately, the book's out there as a tool for people. So if they are able to buy it, that's fantastic. We appreciate the support. September 12th, it's officially launched. They can pre-order it today and get ahead of the line in that sense. And then we're going to, if anyone's interested in hiring Untapped 60 as keynote speakers, they can go to untapped60.com as well.
Well, I was just surprised you guys were at the Olympics.
The Paralympics. I thought about it. We're going to get Mike into the Paralympics.
We thought that
he had no chance to make the Olympics before. Zero. Zero.
That's why I lost my leg. Yeah.
You'll have to support somebody.
Not lots now. We've got lots of options now. Shot put. Yes, we can do it.
Yeah.
Because they had a whole the guys there that was doing the running and stuff. They had
Yep.
So I said
Anybody listening to at Firefighter Amp on Insta is where you can get me. And Jarrett, where can they get you?
_ make it a great day.
Make it a great day.
That's
You
it.
guys made it a great day today. You guys coming? Of course, I know you guys can come back, and you got to talk about your limb loss and your other stuff.
Absolutely.
That you guys do, because they do so much. People out there, they're a good resource of information. And it's not just information; they have life experience in it. So you're getting it from the horse's mouth. You're not hearing something from somebody that hasn't had the experience. And this is what, I have to stress, because some people say, oh, they just talking. No, they're not talking about it. They actually been through it. Michael has been through it. Daughter trauma, addiction, everything, loss, all those things. So just don't think, well, I can they help? Well, just reach out.
Yep.
Reach out and they can help. Go get the book. I'm pretty sure you guys, and they will answer you on the website. You
Yep.
send a question to them, they will reach out to you, because just don't be shy, or don't feel like, oh my, I don't want to say that. But they're very confidential and they speak, and this is what they do. So reach out, people. That's all I'm saying to everybody. These are two fabulous, and they're troopers. I was looking to see them on the Olympics, and over there going.
Next year.
I have the Canadian jacket on. We're in front of her.
DBoss, we appreciate that, because we do. We answer everybody. If they have a question, contact us. We'll answer it.
All right. All right. So I do want to thank you, Jarrett, and thank you, Michael, for coming on, sharing your journey again. People that, for them coming, and now they have a book. So you can also, don't wait till order the book, because it's released on September the 12th. You guys can pre-order and get it. And then that way you'll have it before then, so you can go down and wherever if you're around in the areas where maybe they're going to do a book signing, then you guys can get it personally signed by them.
Perfect.
All right. So everybody, good night and bye for now.
Thank you.
Okay.